Everyone, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be week 4 of 1 week, 1 shelf reading challenge for February. Every week I pick a different shelf to read books from. I try, even though I've kind of been failing a little bit so far, to only read the books from that shelf, or at least that genre, because my shelves are divided by genre. And so far it's been one hell of a ride. So the last week for this month, I shall be only reading shelf number 5, which is YA Fantasy Schnutz. Okay. Let me bring you, we're gonna try and choose 2 to 3 books because that's so far what I've been attempting to do. Kind of been hit and miss, but you know. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the shelf. I'm actually kind of excited. I thought it was going to be this one at first, which I wanted to go through a lot of these because I've never read them, and I think it's probably going to be an unhaul version. But not this week, because this is the week. Which one did I read on this shelf? I have read The Thief. I have read this series, which is, what do you say that in English? Guilty pleasure. I don't like romance, but for some reason this one kind of worked for me. I have been wanting to read this series for a while. This is a companion series to another one I did like, so this could be an option. This one, oh, this one has been getting so much hype. Okay, for sure I'm getting that. Yeah, we're going to talk about it in a second. What else? So many I want to read. It's going to be hard. These I did read, these 2. This one not yet, but let me just move this a little bit. Okay. I have read. I think that's it. I have been wanting to read that one for a while now. It's the same universe as, you know, everyone knows Six of Crows and the Grisha trilogy. This might be an option for me. Maybe I should continue this series, but I might keep that for a different challenge. You know what? One I have been meaning to read for like literally forever is The Savage Song. So maybe, oh, that one is so stuck. Let me just do it. Okay, that was a tight fit. So I do have that one, and ooh, I'm kind of like not sure which one I want to get between these 2. I think I'm going to go with this one because I really want to read that one because Nikolai is one of my favorite characters. So let me bring you back. Not sure I'm making my life that easy. So YA Fantasy, I have a love-hate relationship with it. I feel like quite often series that are very, very hyped on BookTube, I end up being left a little underwhelmed because I expect to love them as much as everyone else, and very often I'm not. But some of them are still favorites, so I just continue to read them. To be fair, I feel like I've read so many in the beginning of my BookTube experience that I kind of stopped a little bit the last 2 years. So this week we're coming back. Hopefully we'll fall in love with some of these. So the first one I want to go through is this one, which is Sorcery of Thorns, which I knew I had it on my waiting list at the library. So clearly every week I go through at least one book that is an audiobook, so this might be the one I choose for that. I know literally nothing except that there is magic, and I believe there's a library, and you know, magic in libraries is literally the way to make me go through a book. So for sure I will be reading this one. I feel like the reviews have been very, very positive, but I think there's a romance, and people had told me that maybe the romance wouldn't be up to my taste, but once again, we're crossing your fingers. I literally showed you one that I did like a romance, so it's still possible for it to happen. So this is the number 1 that I will read for sure this week. After that, I just checked, and actually I am now on the waiting list. I'm number 1 on the waiting list to get this one as an audiobook, just in case I finish this one. This is The Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. She gets a lot of hype on BookTube, and I do like her writing overall. I haven't read anything that was YA by her. I did read Middle Grade, which was not satisfying in my opinion. So I will be giving a shot finally to one of her YA book. A lot of people were saying that this was good. It's a duology. I do have the whole duology, and it's between monsters and humans. Like every time someone does something bad, a monster is created, I think. This is probably gonna be my backup audiobook if I finish this one, but also backup physical one if I do finish this one, because I really want to go through this one. This is King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo, and like I was saying, we hear a lot about the Grisha trilogy and the Six of Crow duology, and this is like companion novel. I believe you're supposed to read it after all of these, and I have read them, so we should be fine. And it's supposed to be about Nikolai, which is my favorite. I guess he's a side character in the Grisha trilogy, and I just adore him. And I'm excited actually to go back. I know the reviews have been kind of hit and miss for this one, but again, crossing my fingers that I will overall enjoy it. I'm a little nervous to do this 4th week because I have not finished quite a few books in the last 3 weeks. A lot of books are like piled right there, and I'm like halfway through them. Those are just the ones that I have physical ones, so you can see these 4. And part of me kind of wants to continue the ones that were good, which is really bad whenever you're trying to, you know, read other ones. But I guess I have the rest of the year to actually finish them, so I shouldn't rush, but I'm a little bit of a mood reader, so we're gonna see how this week goes. A little nervous, but hopeful, because the good thing about YA books is the fact that it's really easy to fly through them. So for sure, the first audiobook, if it goes well, I can go through it quite fast. And again, I have this one as a backup, and I just need to find actual time to sit down and read this one. We can do this. Did I choose the right books on my shelf? Let me know which ones I should read from the ones that you saw on the shelf, because I do, like, it's a good shelf. I feel like there are quite a few on there that I have read, but the rest are books I really, really want to read. So if anything you think I would enjoy, let me know. I will see you in a couple days. Okay, so a quick update. We are Thursday. Things have been kind of slow this week, I feel like, reading-wise, but I just finished my first book, which was Sorcery of Thorns, which I was excited, but not fully convinced I would enjoy it. If you saw the intro, I mean, you probably realized that. My relationship with YA fantasy has been so hit and miss lately, but I have to say the first 3/4 of the book, I actually really enjoyed it. I felt like the ending, like the book was kind of out of breath. Can you say that in English? I feel like it was getting weaker and weaker towards the end, but the positive, magic is interesting. I love that it's all centered around books and libraries, so if that's something you are into, you're probably going to enjoy this. The audiobook was fine. I kept going back and forth. That's why it's the only book I have been reading, and the audiobook was just fine if you want to try it that way. And yeah, overall, it's a bit too soon to really give it a rating, but probably would run it up almost to a 4, so maybe like a 3.75. Surprisingly pretty solid. I don't know if it's a standalone or not, but I would continue if there would be more. I probably will have to look that up and let you know in the ending of the video. But yes, so far my reading has been pretty good. And now I have 2.5 more days to attempt to read another one. I think I will be starting this one, which is The Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. I don't know a lot about this one, as you can probably saw in the intro. That's my issue when I do vlogs. I keep forgetting what I said a few days ago. But yes, that's the next one I'm starting. I also have the audiobook for this one, so I probably will continue going back and forth. I feel like it's making my life so much easier lately because I've had no time to sit down. But when I do, I can just continue the one I'm currently reading, so it's been pretty easy. Actually, that's a lie, because yesterday, for some reason, the app Libby that I used to listen to audiobook was not working, so I did start another one that I wasn't supposed to start until next month, which was 8 Perfect Murders. But I read like 10% of it, but not my fault. I had no choice. I had no other books with me, so yeah. So I did read a little bit more than that. Anyway, first book is like 400 pages, so I still made some decent progress this week so far. And I will see you in a few more days, and again, I'll check that up. I'll let you know in a minute. It is now the end of week 4, a 1 week, 1 shelf challenge about YA fantasy books. I have read 1 and books. So I did look this up, and it is a standalone, at least as of now. But the author is also the author of An Enchantment of Ravens, which I do have on my shelf and I've been meaning to read. So now I will definitely pick that up. I did overall enjoy this. I do think that if you're someone that usually enjoys YA fantasy, you should give it a shot. I'm going to try to quickly describe what the plot is about, even though it's kind of complicated to do that. You're following a young girl who grew up her whole life trying to become a librarian, essentially. And one day she is swept away, being accused of doing something, and things happen. There is a love interest, which I'm not huge on romance, but I don't feel like it was the main thing throughout the book. I do feel like there was enough other stuff to compensate, and I really enjoy the fact that it was again about libraries and books, magical books, and that's her power basically. She's very close to the books, and that was actually kind of fun. I did feel like some of the stuff that happened was a little convenient, but I do tend to have lower expectations overall for YA fantasy. So overall, a decent book. I would recommend it if that's something you already had on your radar. And then I'm about 50% into The Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. And so far, I'm intrigued. I am enjoying it overall. Again, the audiobook is fine. I did listen to part of it that way. And I will be continuing it even though in March I have a different challenge to do. I'm just going to finish it because it's quite easy to go through. As far as the story, so far you're following two different characters. You don't know... Okay, is it me or it wasn't clear in the beginning if which the character is human and which one is the monster? Maybe it's just me that was like not completely awake. But I don't think it's a spoiler. You're following a human girl and her father essentially... protects people from the monster, but they have to pay him. And then you have a monster who doesn't really want to be a monster and would rather be a human and not kill anyone. And it's a little complicated. There's like 3 different types of monsters. You kind of learn their background stories as the story goes by. And I'm intrigued. Not a lot has happened as of yet, but it's only 50%. I guess the beginning it was really used to just, you know, world building and just develop the characters a little bit. So it's starting to pick up, so I'm hoping that it's gonna get better. So far it's okay, but not like groundbreaking or anything, but it is a duology. I do have book 2 on my shelf and I would continue. Again, it will depend on how the second half goes by, but it's good so far. So far I can't even give this one a rating. Honestly, this week I have not been reading as much as I wanted to, but March is where it happens. So 1.5 books doesn't seem like a lot, I feel like, but these books were bigger than the other ones I've done in my other weeks. This one has 453 pages, so that's actually really good for 1 week. And this one I'm about halfway through and it has 400 pages, so about 200 pages. So 600 pages is actually good in a week. I don't know why I'm feeling like I didn't read that much. What I enjoy about YA fantasy is the fact that they're so easy to go through. Like I don't have to be fully awake. I feel like week 2 I was reading hard sci-fi and I felt like I had to be like, you know, fully awake in the morning to really get everything out of the book. And these they're just so easy to go through. You fly through them and it's been actually fun. I have, again, a complicated relationship with YA fantasy, but this has been great. I feel like they're not amazing books, at least as of yet for this one, but they've been kind of pleasant to go through. So if I feel like I'm in a slump, I would definitely keep in mind to go back to YA fantasy just because they're so easy. So that's going to be it for week 4 of this challenge. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know which week was actually your favorite. I definitely need to do that again, although I will probably spread them a little bit further away so I have time to catch up, because this month was just all over the place. I hope you enjoyed it. Thumbs up, subscribe. I will definitely be putting more videos on the screen that I recommend you check out, and I shall see you in my next video. Bye.